Hello Stampers, it's Amy with Stampin' Magic. Thank you for joining me today. Today I have for you another quick and easy card which involves a lot of stamping to create your own background. And it's a lovely Valentine's card, so let's get started. So stamp sets you will need. Hearts of Happiness. There's lots and lots of different hearts on here, so you can get really creative with your designs. I'm absolutely loving using this stamp set. And I'm using the Sentiment from Petal palette. And I'm going to use I Just Love You. You'll need some Memento black ink, some powder pink, Flirty Flamingo and Cherry Cobbler. You'll need a Cherry Cobbler C6 size top folding card base, which we're going to turn on its side to make a side folding. You'll also need some Smooth Whisper White, 2 scraps of Whisper White and some copy or printer paper for the inside of your card. We'll also be using some silver thread, and I've got here a silver gel pen which we're going to colour in some of the little tiny hearts with. And you also need Tombow, some snips, dimensionals and some snail. Okay, to start with I'm going to bring in some of my scrap of Whisper White and some Cherry Cobbler. So we'll be using our bigger heart, which looks like this. So your scrap needs to be able to fit this in. And inking it up with the Cherry Cobbler. We're gonna stamp that down. Like so. And the design of it is so that it's kind of like art watercoloured lines. So you will get darker bits in some areas and lighter bits in the other. And that will dry a different colour. So as you can see, that's freshly stamped and it will dry a bit more like this. So I'm going to put away the Cherry Cobbler. And I'm going to fussy cut this one out. Okay, like that. Our other scrap, which the measurements for this particular piece will be on my blog, I'm going to turn into a little banner. So I'm going to cut in and then from the edges snip down. And that gives you a little banner. I'm going to do the same on the other side. So you want to cut in about 1 centimetre and then snip from the corners to meet it. And this is going to go behind our heart like so. Okay. Now bringing in our large Whisper White, we're going to be doing some stamping for the background. So I'm going to start with my powder pink and we're going to get our heart with the lines. So this is going to be the bigger heart we're using for the background. And you just want to stamp it randomly. And you can go off the edge and that's fine. Okay. So we're leaving the powder pink to one side because we're going to come back to that in a minute. Going to get some Flirty Flamingo, and it's a kind of medium solid heart. We're going to use that, and we're going to fill in some gaps with this. And then with some Cherry Cobbler, we're using this heart here. And again, just randomly stamping. And we're coming back to the row of hearts. I really love this size heart. So you could cut your stamp, do a bit of stamp surgery as they call it. So cut the end one off and use a small block and then just stamp. But I like to keep mine whole, so I'm just going to ink up this last one here and then just stamp it randomly to fill in the gaps. Okay, and that's our background done. I'm going to bring in my printer paper or copy paper, depending on what you call it. And this is what goes on the inside, so I'm just going to be stamping a little bit on the inside. So bringing back that flirty flamingo, I'm going to stamp the medium heart. Now this will stamp differently on the paper than it will on the card. The Whisper White is designed to get a really good image. So on the copy paper or printer paper, it's different. It's paper, it's not cards. It's going to stamp slightly different. So just be aware of that. And I'm bringing in the cherry cobbler to do a couple of these. And then we're done with that. And again, our little tiny heart. And that just ties everything in really nicely. So I'm going to move that to one side. I'm going to bring in my black Memento ink and the I Just Love You stamp from Petal Palette stamp set. And this you want to ink up really, really well. And then we're going to place it in the bottom right hand corner. Like so. And that's our stamping done. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue this down to my base using some Tombow, which is running out. And like I said, this is a C6 top folding. We're just turning it on our side, so it is a side folding, but on the shorter side. And then you just want to place it so there's a nice thin border of cherry cobbler. And then I just flip that over and push that down just so it gets nice and ahead, like so. Okay, next I'm bringing in my other elements and I'm going to flip the big heart over and I'm going to put some snail on the back of it. And then we're going to want to get our thread. This is some really nice silver thread. I also have the copper one, which is lovely as well. I do need to get the gold eventually. Okay. So I'm just getting a nice long amount. You can cut this shorter or measure it if you want. Now some people, they'll hold this and they'll wrap it around 3 fingers and then kind of place it on that way. Because this is such a big image, I don't mind taking the time to just fold it round and stick it, and then this way it kind of goes where I want it a bit more. Okay, and then that just gives you a little bit of room to adjust that to where you want it to go. Okay, So I am going to add a little bit of snail to this bit, just to give it that extra adherence. And then we're going to place this here, like so. And then we're going to want to bring in some dimensionals. Now I have used quite a lot of dimensionals on here just because of the thread, and I just want to make sure it all stays in place. Okay, and then we're going to want to place this about there on our card. Okay, and then I'm going to go get some snail for the insert. Opening up the card, and again making sure you've got a nice border. Oh, stuck that a bit wonky, but a nice border in there. And the last thing you want to do is you want to get your silver gel pen, and we're going to go over some of these small hearts with the silver gel pen. It's very, very easy to do, very quick and simple. You can heat emboss these, of course, but if you're in a rush, you might not want to get all your heat emboss equipment out. So a gel pen looks just as nice. So I've done about 4 hearts there. You can do 4 or 5, you can do 2 if you want, but I think that just gives an added bit of shimmer that ties in with the silver thread here. So that's our card for today. I hope you liked it. If you did, please do give me a thumbs up and subscribe.